Hello, good afternoon. Welcome to the Emily Wolfe and CC Thornley podcast pilot. So my name's CC Thornley, and I play banjo. And we're going to do this little podcast, and you can listen to it whenever you like. And we're going to play you 5 songs and talk nonsense about things.
Sounds good.
Okie dokes. So I'll tell you a little bit about us, because this will be the first one. This will be the pilot one. This is the one we're going to edit and see if it works. So we do the Tasmanian Heritage Fiddle Ensemble, which is a little mentoring ensemble we do to keep the spirit of Tassie music alive. Tell the listeners all about it, Emily.
Well, I'm Emily Wolfe and I play the fiddle. And yes, we take the Tasmanian Heritage Fiddle Ensemble in...
I said that bit.
In town. Oh, you did. Well, I'm just reiterating it, just saying it again so you get it.
Right.
So yes, we're keeping the tradition of playing Tasmanian music, and the beauty with the group is that it's growing and living. So therefore, if somebody in the group writes a tune, they can bring it and we'll learn it and we'll play it. It's a learning environment, so if you're a beginner or you've been playing for a while and you've picked up your instrument again, you know, we sort of welcome all ages and all levels, and kind of give you tips of the trade when it comes to gigs and talking about arrangements, harmonies.
What's the oldest song we play?
The oldest tune we play... Well, it'll be one of the Alexander Lang tunes.
Who's Alexander Lang?
Oh, who's Alexander Lang? I hear you ask. That was a good segue into that.
Was it?
It was pretty good.
Okay.
We'll work on it. It
was effective.
So Alexander Lang was a convict that came from Scotland. He did his time down at Port Arthur, and after he served his time, he ended up being a police constable stationed out at Sorel, and he wrote over 100 tunes, gave them all pretty funky names like Dr.
Funkenstein gets down in the convict. Maybe not that funky.
Dr. Moore on Parade, Richmond Lasses, Mrs. S.G. Lang, Hornpipe. He had a lot of tunes dedicated to wives, like Mrs.
Oh,
Chance
did he?
Reel. Yes,
did he really?
He did. So he wrote a lot of tunes. So that's probably, well, I think that's probably one of our oldest ones, or possibly the ones from Cape Barren Island would be just as old. I'm not too sure on the dates on them. And
what's the most recent song we play? What's the latest tune we play?
Oh, the latest tune. That's a good question. I reckon that would be ones written by Paddy Riley. So the Glen Huon Waltz.
Oh, yes.
Fedora's
So Paddy Riley, when was she at Port Arthur?
No, you said one of the reasons.
See, we laugh because we know Paddy Riley's still alive to this very day.
That's hilarious. Yes, she lives down in Cygnet. I was like, what?
Yeah, right.
You caught me out there. That was hilarious.
Good. And so who started the Heritage Fiddle Ensemble?
It was started by Steve and Marjorie Gadd.
Right.
So they started it... I think the original rehearsal space was at McPhee's music store, which was on Elizabeth Street, down in the basement.
Right.
Which is where I first started to go, actually, as well.
Right. And so Steve goes and does his down in the Huon Valley. He's got a heritage chapter down there.
Yes, so they have one down at their house down in Franklin.
Right.
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, we're going to, as we go along with this podcast, we're going to play you some tunes as well, just for the hell of it, just for the fun of it. So do you want to play one of those Alexander Lang tunes?
Sure.
Do you want to play the one we always play?
Yeah, let's do the one we always play, because it warms up the fingers, because it's the hottest day today.
Cool. This is Dr. Funkenstein Shakes His Booty. It's written in 1824.
Shakes his booty. It's great.
No, they didn't have booties back then.
No.
They just had a couple of bony knobs and they had to sit on those.
Yeah.
And if they needed some stock for their soup, they'd just shave a bit off their bony knobs.
That's
and eventually they'd have no bony knobs. They couldn't sit down anywhere, and they'd die. It's very sad.
It's going to be a lot of bad jokes, isn't it?
Oh, so many bad jokes.
Man.
Deliciously bad.
Listeners, you're in for a ride.
Yeah. So this is the Tasmanian Waltz. Now, it's called the Tasmanian Waltz because it's a waltz And it's
For Tasmania.
yes, by Tasmanians for Tasmanians. It's sometimes referred to as the chicken feed love anthem.
You started, I think.
was the Tasmanian Waltz, written by Alexander Lang. Now, one of the things about this podcast we've promised ourselves is we're not going to do any editing on the music. If we do swear and say the odd we're going to replace those words with sound effects. But we're just going to let the mistakes happen. So what you're going to miss out on when you listen to these tunes is me, every time I stuff up, looking over at Emily, going, "Did you hear that?"
Yes.
Damn.
Every time.
Oh boy, oh boy. But that's for you at home. That's for you at home to listen to and think, well, gosh, you know, I had so much respect for these musicians. Now I realise they're just like me.
Beautiful.
Thanks. Tasmanian Waltz. So that's one of the old ones by Alexander Lang, yeah?
Yes.
So, yeah. So he was on the boat, obviously, presumably, and he saw Tasmania and he goes, "Oh, quick, grab me fiddle!"
Yeah, well, I imagined because he came from Scotland, you know, that's such a rich folk environment, that place. I don't know, he would have had a fiddle on him, and just had, or he would have bought, I don't know, he would have brought one here and just, I think what I've heard along the traps is that he wrote the tunes kind of by memory, so he wouldn't always have an instrument on him. Well, maybe later on he did, but maybe the first tunes he was writing was just more going memory sort of thing.
Because I imagine back in the day you could just go up to the record label and say, "I've got this great idea," and the record label would go, "I like it, that's good. A bit of fiddle, that'll come up great."
Yeah, probably.
Is that how it went down?
I think so. I mean, it's hard to really exactly know, but, I wasn't there.
No, it's true. Well, we're going to play you another 4 tunes before the end of this ridiculous podcast is over.
I had a thought of what we could do, actually, which I know we discussed before, but I thought...
What was that?
Well, we could do some Varsoviennas.
Oh, I like the Varsoviennas.
Yeah, should we do the Eileen ones?
Yeah.
Okay.
I might need a chord chart, though, just... Because there's so many of them and I get them confused.
We're doing it talk while I get that?
Yes, I'll
Sure,
talk.
I can do that. I can go.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Emily Wolfe and C.C. Thornley Tasmanian Heritage Ensemble Youth Choir Ensemble Special Podcast Event number 1. We'd just like to remind you that all our albums and play sets and toys are available on Bandcamp. You can go to Bandcamp and you can look up our album and you can exchange money for goods and digital services that you never really own, you merely license from us. It's the new era. Depressing, isn't it? Emily's just over the other side of the room there. Oh, here she comes. Shh. She's back.
It's a good thing that we're in a place where all the music is here.
Yeah.
So these 2 tunes are probably one of my favourites to play, the Varsoviennas.
Really?
And we sort of have our own special way of playing them because we're special. But Eileen McCoy... I believe she was down from Franklin direction, I think.
Right.
So I could also be wrong with that.
So who was she? Did she know Alexander Lane?
No, I think she was, maybe 50s, 60s.
Right.
Like that time. And I think she also helped write tunes like the Apple Shed sort of era as well. So
the Apple Shed era, for those who don't know.
I'm not 100% sure.
Right, okay. But presumably apples were really big. I mean, they were average-sized apples, but the apple industry was really big, and they had these sheds, and so because they didn't have any internet or anything at the time, people would get incredibly bored, so they'd play their own instruments and do dances and stuff rather than just look at their phones. And
that's
that lasted until, thank God, we got phones, and then we could stop all that.
Yeah. Because don't you just play, any recording on your phone and
whatever you want.
Yeah. But they were very big. They're doing the dances down that way. I think even my grandfather used to go and play for the dances down there. Yeah.
Old Man Wolfe,
Ernie Wolfe with his bus. He used to have a bus business and go down south like Snug Dover.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, right. There you go.
And play the dances. So these are those 2 tunes. We're going to play them now for you.
This is Eileen McCoy's Varsovienna numbers 1 and 2. Well, that was lovely.
It was. Love those Varsoviennas. Really nice.
So what's so special about the way we do them?
I like how we play fast in the B section and we go back really slow in the A. I mean, you know, when I've done these tunes in dances, that sort of works, the tempo change, because it can be like a nice schottische or a mazurka sort of style dance. But
them's as musical terms, people, for those who aren't musical, a schottische and a mazurka.
Yes, sounds all well, fancy words only on this show. But, you know, I just really like exaggerating the tempo change with them.
I like that too. That's what I like about them.
Yeah, it's really fun.
Yeah.
And there's other Varsoviennas that we play, but I find them really quirky.
Yeah. Well, Steve Gadd wrote a couple of
He did.
Varsoviennas that we actually recorded on the first album. Just dropping that again there, folks. If you are interested, the Wolfe Thorn album is available on Bandcamp. It's simply there for you.
Yes, but we could possibly do them next time.
Maybe, yeah.
On the second podcast.
For sure.
We could play something from the first album. We did Tassie.
We do whatever we like. No one's really telling us, you know, holding it over us.
No, there isn't.
Yeah.
Just our own...
Expectations.
Our own expectations. That's the hardest one of all.
That is the hardest of all.
Hardest one. We could do... How about we do the Tassie Fisher Hornpipe?
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. I'll have to go and fossick around for me old...
You need your capo.
Yeah. Look, you just talk to them and I'll be... You have a
I'll
chat
talk
to
to them now.
Yeah. Just don't let that line go into the red.
Oh, man. This is...
All right. Now, if you hear beeping or anything, just call me. I'll come right back.
So we actually are in the process of recording our second Wolfe Thorn album. So it's going to have, again, a mixture of Tassie tunes. And we're in the process of doing that. And we're going to have a few more special guests on there as well. So... yeah, we're working very hard towards that.
Yeah, because the first album had some sort of dubious Tasmanian connections with sea shanties that we did that we know would have been played in the region but weren't necessarily Taswegian. And the reason why we did that was because originally the idea was to do a fundraiser for the Maritime Museum, but they stopped communicating with me, so we had to just... I don't know what happened. It just pulled right out. So we ended up halfway through the project and just said, oh, well...
Yeah, and we had the amazing Randall Muir on accordion for our first album, which was really good, and Luke Plum recorded it for us.
Yeah, that's the legendary Luke Plum, not the ordinary Luke Plum from Frankston. This is the legendary Luke Plum.
He's an amazing player.
Yeah.
Very nice guy.
And a very good sound engineer.
Yes, love our first album. So we've got, but we do have the just as amazing Al Campbell doing our second one at the moment. So, and he has an amazing...
That's the amazing Al Campbell as opposed to just the ordinary Al Campbell from Bernie. Yeah, this is the amazing Al Campbell.
Amazing.
Yeah, so you'll be able to tell that if you see them together, you'll know exactly.
Yeah, you'll definitely know. You'll definitely know the difference.
Yeah.
The amazing Al's got like, you know...
He's got an aura.
It's got an aura, yes. I like that. We should tell him that.
Al, you've got an aura about you. He'll love that. He'll love hearing about that. All right, so what are we going to do? We're going to do
the Tassie Fisher Hornpipe. Now, this has two names. It's either called the Tassie Fisher Hornpipe or the Blanchard. The reason for that, I think either they couldn't remember the name or was given two names. So I think that's the background on that. And I actually don't know who wrote it because it doesn't say on the music, so I don't know.
Are we going to do the other one after?
And we're going to go into a Lang tune, which is the Emily Lakeland's Hornpipe. Yeah. Except we don't play it like a hornpipe. We play it like a reel because I couldn't help myself. Just doing do some hoedowning. And this is on our first album, so...
God, I hope I get this right.
I hope so too.
Because there's no backsies on this. We're not going back and editing the tune. So you're going to hear all sorts of...
Oh, I only wish we just need a camera so we could just keep
see
your
the
face.
looks. Well, we might next time we do this, we'll photograph the looks and we'll use that as the...
It'll just be me giving Carla a look going, you made a mistake again.
And me looking, but please forgive me.
Obviously I do, because we're still playing together. I'm still giving you chances. It's a good thing I'm a patient person.
Yeah.
Cool.
I hate to see you impatient. I thought, crikey, Joe.
All right, here we go. Oh, I gotta remember how they go. No, I've got it.
It's like good. So I had to give her a look because that timing, wonderful foot timing there was coming right through the microphone.
Sorry.
I'm the only one with monitors, so I can hear.
I got too excited with that one. I do apologies.
It was good.
For the people at home. But, if you've got your toe tapping, that's what's meant to do.
That's right. And that's exactly what we were trying to demonstrate, the ability to tap your toe during this.
I knew this weekend, the look's like, oh, sorry.
Do you know my favourite bit in that song is the bit where it goes... That's my favourite bit.
I love the face when you do it as well.
Yeah, because I enjoy it.
I know.
I'm going to get right into that bit. I'm going to get... yeah.
I'll be worried if you would sit there with a frown.
This is not this is bad. It's not classical. It's not how they teach you at the con.
Yes, you don't want that folky, Irishy music in here.
No, that's cheap, poor gutter music.
That's right.
I always say, whenever there's the debates about immigration, the first thing I say is, well, you let the Irish in, didn't you? Well, there's no taking it back now.
That's right.
Goes over their head quite a bit. Yeah. Especially if you're Irish and you're saying that. You've got Irish background.
Don't you? Yeah, you
let
have
my great-grandparents in here, hey? We told you we'd take all the jobs and the women, didn't we? Didn't we say that? No taking it back now.
That's right. That's beautiful. Well, I think we should play a tune from Cape Barren Island.
Oh, okay.
So we've got a handful of tunes that came from Cape Barren Island, written from the Indigenous people there. I think there was a group called the Brown Brothers. Or were they from Cape Barren? Yes.
I don't know.
I can't remember, but this is one of, a really nice tune called the Cape Barren Jig, or it's sometimes known as Little Burnt Potato as well. So it's again got two different names, but this will be on the second album.
Oh, yes.
So we're going to play it for you now as like a little inside scoop of what's in.
Is this like the one, because I heard a story that they used to play these tunes as like dance competitions, and they'd play them faster and faster and you keep dancing until you dropped, and then the last person standing won a potato or something. Or...
Oh, that's Uncle Affy's Tap. That's the one that goes really fast, and then they win. The story I heard was that they would dance, and whoever was the last one standing, they'd get like a bottle of rum or something.
Right, but that's not this one.
No.
Right.
I don't know about this. Maybe they were given free potatoes. I don't know.
So for those that are playing at home, if you're playing along at home, this is in the key of G, but it has this marvellous C sharp in it that just sets it off. It's really cool. It's not quite a Lydian mode, but it fits within the Ionian major pentatonic structure.
No, it's too fancy talk now.
I know. I'm just trying to make it a bit highbrow.
We get it. We get it. You went to jazz school.
I went to jazz school.
Yeah.
They taught me how to improvise. I got a B-.
Yeah, you did.
What did you get?
Oh, I don't know. I got an A, I reckon.
Oh, typical.
Of course I did. I think you start this one.
Oh, yeah, okay. Whoops. Tune.
Yeah, it's
such a lovely tune. And I love the bit, like, you always try and catch it, but I'm always too late. The bit that goes, what is That was terrible. play it in context. How's it go?
Yeah.
And I always miss it, yeah, but it's in the second verse. Got to
That's
remember.
a little thing that I like to do because it harmonises with the melody.
Yeah, right, so I shouldn't do it.
No, it sounds nice when you do it. You know, it sounds nice when you do it.
I like it, yeah.
No, it
it's
sounds nice. I think the beauty of playing these tunes, what I find most different with Tassie tunes compared to Irish or the Scottish tunes, is that it's really quite focused more on the melody. It's not so much about playing a fast reel or a schottish. Whether I love those styles, don't get me wrong, but I really love the Tassie tunes for that, and it's open to interpretation.
There's an honesty to them. There's like a...
Yeah, and it's really... I find them more focused on them where the melody is going, and rather than just playing through fast tunes. And interestingly enough, like with the Lang stuff and the other composers that we'll cover during this podcast, there's not a lot of reels. There's not really a lot of fast stuff. It's quite a lot of slow. Hence why, you know, we could change the hornpipe and do it a reel, but there's not a lot of reels. It's quite a lot of waltzes, hornpipes or polkas, the Varsoviennas. So it's interesting like that. And even the stuff that's written current, so by Paddy Riley or Steve Gadd, you know, it's really melodically focused rather than just playing fast stuff.
Then I do quite like playing a lot of Steve's stuff.
Yes, well, maybe we should just do a next session, or one session we'll just focus only on Steve's tunes.
Yeah, maybe.
Do that. One of the tips.
Yeah, Steve, just leave the money on the fridge if you're listening.
And we could do one for our own as well. We could do one of yours and one of mine.
Oh, no one's interested in...
Okay, well, I'll do mine then.
All right, I'll do yours too. That'd be great.
But like what I was trying to get at was that, you know, since I've been playing these tunes for so long, I definitely have my own little things I like to play, or do little harmonies, or play around the melody a little bit, just to create, you know, just my interpretation of it, which is really fun because you can sort of have that flexibility to do it with these tunes.
They're fresh. They're there. They're ready to be exploited and redone, you know. And that's the thing I find with all that American stuff. You look at that American canon, and whenever you go to the mainland and you play with folk people, they're always playing American songs. And the reason why that canon of music is so rich is because they have taken the melodies and done that with them. They've owned the melodies and explored them and fleshed them out.
Yeah.
You know, whereas I haven't seen that happening in Australia. Like whenever you see Australian songs, it's usually 3 Australian songs, some version of Along the Road to Gundagai, Moreton Bay, and the other one's Waltzing Matilda, and it's always rollicking. And it's boring as hell.
That's why we need people, you know, just to, like us, to, you know, muck with them.
Muck with them. Get in there.
Get in there and smash it up. No,
yeah, because
really.
you can swear on this podcast. Like, you can say
No, I won't do that.
Why not?
I'll be polite.
I could like slip in sound effects and make it sound like you're saying that, and they'd be none the wiser.
You would do that too, wouldn't you?
I possibly would. But because you're a school teacher, do you find that you've gained a certain control over your ability to cuss?
Yes. A little I have to control. No, well, actually, no, I don't. I never really... No, that doesn't really cross my mind.
You little fig munching...
That's never happened.
Doodle.
Look, it's only happened when I'm playing in a band with you.
So when I go, Emily!
That's right. Never have that urge with the kids. I don't get nearly as much frustration.
Really? That's because I just want the best out of you, Emily. I just want the best performance I can get out of you.
Yes. It's every time, by the way.
Really?
FYI. Anyway.
We all know what the F stands for, don't we?
Oh. We'll stop bickering. I think this is our 5th tune.
This is our 5th tune, so this will be the end of our pilot podcast, and we'll review it. We'll put this up for you to listen to. The first one will be for free, but the other ones we might just ask if you want to. You can listen to it anytime online. We'll have the links, all that, in the description. But in future, if you want to take them away and put them in the car and listen to them while you're driving or something, maybe just chuck us $1. We'll sort that out.
Chuck us $1.
Chuck us $1. Download the MP3. Off you go. Or
if you know where I live, just, you know, throw it at my house or just chuck $1.
Make a wish. If you do that, if you're driving past Emily's house, throw $1, make a wish.
Yep. Oh, no, I know what it's for.
World peace! And global famine! Damn you!
Beautiful. Yes. This is going to be fun. I can see it's going to be fun. So I think we might finish off with some Black Cat Piddled in the White Cat's Eye. So this was written by the Brown brothers, and this tune I've actually have played it at National Folk Festival. Like, people do know this tune, which is really nice.
Yeah.
And we're going to go into a second tune called the Homebrew Polka.
Now, the Homebrew Polka, that was written by someone.
Yeah, Colin Petersfield? Is that right?
Yeah.
His name? He only recently passed away. So he passed away last year, but he...
But wasn't the interesting thing about how he was born?
He was, let's see if I get this right. He was left on a doorstep. He was a little baby, just...
Left on a doorstep in a basket.
Left on a doorstep, yeah.
Let's just check the survey. Did Emily get that right? Yes, she did. Well done, Emily. 2 points to Emily.
He had an amazing life, and I wish I only knew a bit more about him, but he was a lovely man, and he was originally, I think he was one of the original people to start what is now the Signet Folk Festival, because it used to be in Longford. It used to be the Longford Folk Festival. Then they moved it down to Signet. And so, yeah, he's a really nice man. So he wrote this tune. He wrote, I think he obviously wrote more than this one, but this is one that's stuck around and it's really nice to play. Yeah,
it's a nice tune. It's an E minor D tune. And it's got the same chord structure as all those Drunken Sailor and that sort of stuff. And what's that one? Cool is Real.
Yeah, so we play. I'll go into Cool is Real with this one because it's fun and it's the same chords as Carl has pointed out.
Yes, for those of you playing at home.
For those, yes.
All right, let's begin. How do we do this?
I'll do it.
That was fun. Well, that was Black Cat Piddled in the White Cat's Eye, and with homebrew at the end there, overplayed dramatically on banjo by myself.
Did a great job.
Oh, good on you.
It was lovely.
Thank you very much.
Perfectly adequate.
It was perfectly adequate. That's what we aim for. Anything more than perfectly adequate is a bonus, folks. Remember that. P's get degrees. So, look, that brings us to the end of our little podcast pilot. Thank you very much if you have listened. If you haven't listened, I don't know what to tell you.
Nothing. They weren't listening.
No, you've missed an opportunity there. But thanks anyway. So I'm Emily Wolfe. This is CC Thornley.
Thank you for listening.
Damn it. I can edit that out, can't I? I won't though. I'm the man.
I'm the woman.
The woman. Balance. Thank you very much. So if you are interested, there will be a GoFundMe nonsense, all that sort of stuff. I'll make a website. You can click on all the links. If you're looking for more of this sort of music, there is the Wolfe Thorn, which is what we play with when we're around town doing this sort of folky stuff. That's on Bandcamp. If you're in Tasmania and you want to play more of this music, come on down to the Tasmanian Heritage Fiddle Ensemble. There's 2 chapters. There's one in Hobart if you're in the city. If you're down south and it's hard for you to get up in the city, go and check out the original and still the best Steve Gadd and Marjorie Gadd. Steve and Marjorie Gadd. Down there in Huon, there's a big folk scene down there, so if you are down there, look, and if you're sitting going, I play banjo, but all my friends play heavy metal and I don't know where to go and get... Here we are, folks. We're ready for you. Open arms. Just don't play any of that metal.
Just no heavy metal.
No, please.
That's right.
Thanks.
Thank you.